Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take on the update of Antifa. What's going on? More stuff. Usual stuff, really. The thing on this particular story, however, is ABC News is covering it. Wow, look at that. ABC News is covering Antifa like it's a real news story. Portland police detained protesters had bear spray, hammers. That's so weird because they've had bear spray and hammers and all kinds of weapons for the last 8 months during their protest. ABC News didn't seem to want to talk about it, didn't seem to want to post these pictures of dangerous looking weapons and equipment that protesters supposedly had. I wonder why we didn't see this during the George Floyd riots. I wonder. Police in Portland, Oregon say they found a crowbar, hammers, bear spray, and firearms after they corralled a group of about 100 protesters. Oh my! This is shocking news to you, ABC? Because this has been happening for 8 months, almost a year. In a new release, the police bureau said officers surrounded the protesters about 15 minutes after the march began Friday night in the city's Pearl District at 9 p.m. because some began smashing windows. Again, they've been doing that for the last 8 months. In fact, they lit a courthouse on fire yesterday. They've been lighting buildings on fire for a while. The department said it warned the crowd that failure to comply with lawful orders could result in arrest and exposure to tear gas, and it invited news reporter, legal observers, and anyone with medical conditions to leave the enclosed area. That's not quite true. They told them to leave. They told them to leave and go to an area where they would be released later. So I think they were kind of like volunteering to be held, which was weird. Those who left were identified and photographed as part of an investigation. Wow! Look at Portland. Cops actually doing their jobs. Will wonders never cease? Among the items left behind by the protesters were crowbar, hammers, bear spray, knives, and what the department is describing a, quote, slugging weapon with rocks. 13 people are facing charges from the protest, including disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and interfering with police. One, identified as Katrina Walker, 26, of Portland, was cited for unlawful possession of a firearm. And it goes down like that. Yeah. Mayor Ted Wheeler has decried what he described as a segment of violent agitators who detract from the message of police accountability and should be subject to more severe punishment. It's funny you didn't do that all the last 8 months. Last 8 months, you would actually go visit the protesters and talk to them, even after they threw stuff at you and called you horrible names, and eventually they punched you in a restaurant. Oh, and they made you move, too. That was hilarious. Here's more about the arrest. Police detain 100 Antifa rioters, arrest 13. This is from Breitbart, so you get a little different perspective. They began marching in the street and blocking traffic around 9 on Friday. Oh, it must suck to live in Portland. You want to go out, maybe go to a nice restaurant, party at a club, and these idiots are in the street. These are the same idiots that back in the 80s, they would have been out partying. You know, they would have been all done up. They've been drunk and high as hell, going to club, dancing. But now this is the new thing, in Portland anyway. It's just a mess. It's just a damn mess. Montana man arrested twice within hours at Portland riots is an Antifa member. And look at this guy. Now, I don't want to pick on him, but I gotta say, he doesn't look happy. This is not a guy who looks like he's having a happy life. First off, he's got face tattoos. And if you have face tattoos and you're not a rapper or a full-blown Russian criminal, like in the Russian mafia, because they're big on face tats, I hear. I mean, I think he has problems, and I hope he gets out. I really do. I mean, he's got the word antisocial tattooed right at his hairline, which seems like a bad place for it. He has the word broken tattooed to his chin. He looks broken. I'm serious. I feel bad for him. He looks like a broken human being. I mean, think about it. He's from Montana, one of the most beautiful places in the United States, and he goes all the way to Portland, tattoos his face up, and joins Antifa. I mean, it just boggles the mind. Look at that spider tattoo on his neck. Ow. I had to hurt. I mean, he looks like already he's ready for a life of crime, a life of being institutionalized in prison. Does this look like a guy who is going to liberate anybody? No. He looks broken. He has the word broken tattooed to his face. I think he is broken. He's 22. He does not look 22. He looks much older than that. He looks, to me, he could be mid-30s at least. At least. Maybe even in his 40s. He went inside Chase Bank and Wells Fargo. Guess he smashed up the place. It's sad. It's sad to see human beings like this. I genuinely feel bad for him. He's so lost. And how does he get arrested twice? I mean, they must have gotten arrested, gotten out, and then gone right back to doing what he's doing, only to get arrested again. I mean, it doesn't look like he's happy. This guy, I think he really needs, maybe some therapy. Someone to talk to him. I mean, where's his family? Where's his family? Have they abandoned him, or did he abandon them? I gotta think he's got some problems. That's just my opinion, and I'm genuinely not trying to insult the guy. I really think he has problems if he's living his life this way. Because what is he doing? Look at this insignia. I mean, he's looking for purpose in his life. And he unfortunately found it in Antifa. It's bad. It's very bad. I think he's going to end up in prison. He's going to be part of the Antifa prison gang. He already looks like he is. It's very sad. Kentucky Senate passes bill criminalizing protesters who insult police. Now, this is going too far. It's going too far the other way. I certainly think it should be a crime if you throw stuff at the police. You shouldn't be throwing stuff at anybody. Even if it's something light, even if it's like, you throw a drink at somebody, you could hit somebody in the eye with a glass, or even a piece of ice could damage your eye. But to taunt police officers, I think that's a bit much. No, I think that crosses the line. Kentucky, roll it back. Roll it back. And of course, to get the real scoop on Antifa, you have to go to Andy No's Twitter account. And here he is. He's been. This is Jesus. It looks like a socks full of rocks to smash windows, I suppose. Here's more stuff confiscated. This looks like the same stuff or more stuff. No, I think that's different. Yeah, that's different stuff than the ABC riot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people there arrested. Oh, they weren't booked into jail. They were taken there, but not booked. This is from March 12th. Yeah, this looks like the stuff from ABC. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Looks like, it's some kind of slingshot. Jesus, and a hand grenade? Is that real? I'm guessing it's probably a paintball hand grenade or something. Bear spray, walkie-talkies, crowbar. Again, These Antifa protesters do not look happy. They do not look happy. Rachel Rowan, Agnes Lavelle, charged with interfering with an officer. Sean Gabriel Lopez, 26, charged with interfering with an officer. New poll by the American National Election Study shows that the percentage of left-wing Americans who believe in political violence is justifiable has grown considerably since 2016. You're idiots, because the violence against you hasn't been unleashed. I don't know why. I'm not totally sure why. Here's my speculation. Initially, I thought it would be unleashed, but I think there's a transition happening, and what is going to happen eventually, I believe, is they're going to unleash the violence, but when they're sure they could release it on the people they know are a problem. See, you guys haven't become the problem yet. I guess you had enough cred build up that they didn't want to stomp you out right away. They're slowly ramping it up. I guess it would look too conspicuous if they stomped you out like 10 minutes after they got into office. So maybe give it another year. But things in Portland definitely seem to be turning. Certainly the media is turning on you. I mean, I've never seen an ABC report like that. Not during the riots. It was all, happy-go-lucky stuff. Now it looks like Andy Ngo is working for ABC. But you guys who believe in political violence, you're so dumb. You're so stupid. Because, first off, it doesn't even work. It actually accomplishes the opposite. And it gives the state the excuse to pull out the big guns. So if you punch a police officer, he has at least some justifiable reason to pull out his gun and shoot you. Now, you could argue, well, that's not very justifiable or whatever, but, lawyers would argue in court that the officer feared for his life and that you assaulted a police officer. At the very least, even if you survive, you're going to jail for assault on a police officer. And you can see from the Kentucky response, that's what we're going to get. We're going to get to the point where you won't be able to do anything. Not against police. Who knew? Oh, you can't taunt police. Well, what does that mean? If I say, hey, F you, is that a taunt? If I walk by a police officer and sneer, is that a taunt? If I tear down a poster with a picture of a police officer on it in front of him and go like this, is that a taunt? It could be interpreted that way. It's certainly enough to get you in front of a judge, and if you get the wrong judge. See, these idiots, you idiots in Antifa, think that the judges will all be for you. And so far, in Portland anyway, Seattle and places like that, that's been the case. They have bent over backwards to keep cutting you people loose because they thought they were in the resistance against Trump. But Trump is gone. He's not back. And you morons are slowly going to get spun up the more damage you do. Because it wasn't about you or your beliefs or whatever you think you're fighting for. It was all about re-electing Democrats. They're in. And they're consolidating their power. They don't need you. You're just a problem now. Here's the Montana guy again. Jeez, he's got, oh my God, he's got a lot of tattoos. He's got one on his head, too. What the hell's that on his head? Oh, it's like a skull. Like a skull face. A lot of Antifa tattoos. These look like prison tattoos to me. He looks like he's ready to go to prison, this guy. Breaking. In federal criminal complaint against Portland riot suspect Darby Howard, We learn that he has a huge Antifa tattoo. Howard is accused of punching an officer in the head, smashing property inside a bank, and shattering the window of a federal courthouse. Yeah, this guy looks like it's a cry for help for this guy. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't be in jail, by the way. It certainly sounds like he should be. But I feel bad. I do feel bad for someone who's messed up their life so bad that they feel they got to go all the way. They get all these tattoos, go all the way to Portland when they already live in a great place. I imagine him 40 years from now, he's going to be back in Montana after pulling his life together. You know, I don't know, a farmer or a rancher or something. He'll go back to the land and just wonder, like, how he ever got so lost. You know, if he's lucky. The Federal Protective Service removed the barrier around the courthouse in Portland after the city pressured them to do so in order to return to normalcy. Almost immediately, Antifa returned to smash up the building. Now the DOJ says the fence is going back up. Yeah, you can't control these guys, Democrats. You thought you could? You've radicalized these guys. They're going to get to the point where they stomp Antifa out. I do believe that. They're going to put them in prison, and they're going to be further radicalized because their lives will be ruined if they're not already. Ex-NYT editor and Antifa booster Sarah Jeong is not happy the Portland police responded to stop the rioters from breaking more property in a residential area of Portland. Isn't this the woman who made all the racist comments on Twitter too, but NYT hired her anyway? There's a block full of kettled people right now whose names and faces are about to be fed to Andy No. Wah, wah. Yeah, they should be. They're criminals. That's what happens. That's what the police blotter is. Portland police created a perimeter around Antifa extremists who began rioting in a residential area. This must be the 100 rioters. See, they can do it. When they want to pick these guys up, they can do it. They could do it all along. That's what's so frustrating about the last 8 months when they wouldn't do it. They could have done this when their numbers were small. Little Joe, you're rioting back here. Go to sleep. When their numbers were small, they could have done this. Antifa rioters are becoming more bold in their direct attacks on people's homes. Let's see. I guess they're going to smash these windows in this. Let's turn off the sound. I don't want to... Or are they already smashed? Oh, looks like they're already smashed. This is an apartment complex. Yeah, so they're just going to get worse and worse. Now, again, eventually their numbers will be winnowed down when they finally start putting these idiots in jail. I guess they don't want to because they figure, oh, maybe we'll need them in 2024, but put them in jail. Now, here's a protester who got shot. Ashley Babbitt. And, all right, Joe. Come on, you big baby. You can be up front. Ashley Babbitt's backpack, you know, Antifa had knives, bear spray, and all these horrible weapons. Her backpack, and she got shot and killed, had a scarf and a knit hat. So that's the difference in treatment, you know. Antifa guys come armed to the teeth, armored, ready to do damage, to light fires, to hurt people, to scream at people. Ashley Babbitt, I don't think she intended to do damage like that, at least. Maybe a little bit of damage. I don't know. Not much. I don't think she was there to cause many problems, and she was killed, and her backpack was just full of clothes. So, sad. It's sad the two ways people are treated. We need equality under the law. And, you know I've been shouting for the cops in Portland to turn up the juice, but I don't want them to hurt people. I want them to take control of the situation like professionals would. It's the politics that's undermining all this. And you have to do something about it. If you're in the Portland area, man, you have to vote these guys out. You have to. Have to stop voting for these people. You have to do your research. If these people let even one Antifa back on the street, they're useless to you. They think they can control these guys. They think, oh, they're not that bad. They're not. They're bad. They've been radicalized. They need help. And they're not getting it under these circumstances. They need to be driven to the point, at least in Portland, that they cannot riot anymore. They cannot put on these big events. That's going to happen. Their ranks are starting to thin, but now the weather's getting nice, so might beef up again.